Wildlife smoke or the wildfire smoke?
Wildfire smoke. Wildlife smoke, too.
The wildlife set the fire, so. But we're out of our first alert weather day, so we should be good now.
I certainly hope so.
We should. According to our first alert weather team, we're out of the air quality alert, so no more first alert weather day. But it is a Monday, and it is the day after Wimbledon, which we have a new king of tennis.
Well,
What do you
he's
think
been
about this?
good.
He's been good. He's only 20 years old.
It's Carlos Alcaraz. When I got on the airplane to fly home yesterday, Djokovic was up one set, and I said, well, no drama here.
None.
He's not going to lose this.
Nope.
He doesn't give up leads at Wimbledon, and that's why they play this stuff out.
He's just 20 years old, and he actually defeated Djokovic, who he said is the reason he started
Well,
playing
the other
tennis.
guy's 36. So you got with the wear and tear that has to be, on the body of a male, female too, but the males play 5 sets. And the volleys are endless and all that. I'm amazed at the stamina these guys have because they do not get a lot of time off in any way, shape, or form. But this guy at age 20, I mean, is he going to get better? Or is this as good as it gets right now at age 20? But he's the third youngest, is that what I heard? The third
Yes.
youngest guy to win Wimbledon.
He's also the first man not named Roger Federer, Rafael Nadal, Djokovic, or Andy Murray to win the Wimbledon gentlemen's single since 2002. Over 20 years of dominance by, they said, the Power Four.
So what, we got a new king, it says there, new tennis
Yep.
king crowned.
Yep. And he said,
Will he win the U.S. Open?
we will see.
But that's on a different surface.
It is. This is actually just his 4th grass court tournament.
Uh-oh, so you're telling me he's
Yeah.
better on clay.
He might be. Might be a question that we got to get Joey Ellis his thoughts on. He's a big
Anybody
tennis guy.
would know more probably than I would. I mean, I'm giving you everything I got. I'm pulling everything out. Now I can start lying and
Okay.
just make it sound like I know what I'm talking about.
What was pretty cool was he played in front of the King of Spain, and he told the King of Spain, King Philippe VI, I played in front of you just twice that I won, so I hope you're coming for more.
So who's a bigger deal as a Spaniard athlete, Carlos Alcaraz or John Rahm?
Right now, I'd say Carlos.
So I asked.
Yeah. I have a friend in Spain. I can ask him
What do I always say all the time? I don't have any answers, but I got questions.
all the questions.
Who's the bigger deal across Spain as an athlete, an accomplished athlete, John Rahm or Carlos Alcaraz?
I feel like just because of who he defeated,
Probably.
I would say Carlos.
Well, he's hotter right now.
Yeah.
Rahm's cooled a bit.
He's
But
cooled a bit.
he's got the British Open this week,
Might be a good year for Spaniards.
so
It might be.
could be a big week.
It could be.
Sunday to Sunday. One Spaniard one Sunday, one Spaniard the next Sunday.
I like this.
Olay. I mean, are there bullfighters there bigger than those? You know all this stuff.
I know, but
I never know a thing till I come in here and sit down. Then I go in there and tell those guys
And
in
then
the
I-
office how smart I am.
after
They say,
this,
what did she teach you today? And I said, well, I didn't know this and I didn't know that.
Well, did you know this? So we did talk about Hunter Dickinson leaving Michigan and going to Kansas. Now, would you call Kansas a Midwest state or a Western state?
Well, first of all, a little bit about what he says about his comments being a little bit embellished is true. Now, it's stupid to say some of the things on these. No athlete that I know in college says the things he says think he's going to get away with it unscathed. He said Michigan people are nice, Kansas people he thinks are nicer. Now, what the motivation is for that,
He called Michigan fake Midwest.
I got to hear exactly, because if you read the entire transcript of how he says, well, the media will embellish it, because but I would suggest to him, why do you think that when you say this stuff, even a bit, that it's not going to get repeated and it's not going to get headlined? It is. He's the only one that does it. My favorite time is when they were playing at Michigan last winter and he started talking to Izzo on the bench and got him mad. I don't think.
Say.
Well, I wasn't there to air it, but I don't think Izzo was happy about it. In fact, I think he's been talking to Izzo. He talks more to Izzo during the game when he's on the floor than he does off the floor after the game. And I think Izzo thinks that Michigan didn't lose all that much when they lost Dickinson, at least Howard, because he's a loose cannon. And by the way, I want to see how he fits in with Kansas.
It's gonna be
I will
interesting.
reserve judgment on that. That ain't Michigan he's playing with next winter. I mean, these guys are all trying to get into the NBA legitimately, and they run like the deer, and he's a little slower than that.
Yes.
But I mean, I would think these coaches would encourage him not to get on to the public social media areas.
It just, I mean, I don't really know what the point is of it. Like,
The point is to give us something to talk about.
we don't care.
Well, whatever. I always say I root for something to talk about on the air. I always root for whatever there is to talk about. They say, who do you root for? I root for something to talk about. Radio's Jim Rome said that first, and I heard him say it, and I said,
True.
I'm not a fan of Jim Rome per se, but I think I agree with him. I'm rooting for something to talk about that draws interest, generally speaking. And Hunter Dickinson, you got it here on your sheet.
I do.
He
It's
got you
halfway
motivated.
down.
He got you all riled up.
I didn't understand the point of calling Michigan a fake Midwest compared to Kansas. They're very different states. They're very different communities. They're very different.
Well, if he's using me as an example, you could say, yes, I'm fake.
Tim Staudt, here first.
I mean, you can say, yes, I'm absolutely not in any way, shape, or form genuine in any way. It's completely fraudulent. So if he's going by me, then you can't argue with that. But I don't represent everybody in Michigan either.
All right. Well, we're going to move on to some hockey because, it's my favorite. And quite the 18th birthday for one Connor Bedard.
How much money did he get?
I have it over here.
So he's 18 years old. So he's buying for the folks tonight. Wherever they're out celebrating, he's picking up the tab.
13.35 million.
Okay, that's almost twice. The Tigers just announced they've signed their top pick, Max Clark.
Mm-hmm.
See, I got something you don't know.
Oh, look at that.
That's a $7.7 million deal for a high school player. Bedard was the overwhelming number one pick. So let's see, can he play in the NHL? Can he not only play in the NHL, can he play as a difference maker?
Right.
There's three kinds of drafts. Those who sign but can't play, those who sign but they're just another player, and those who sign and they're difference makers. I have no idea where he is. The expectations are high.
They're very high. There's a lot of pressure, but it's been like that for a couple of years with everybody from McDavid to Nugent Hopkins. There's been a lot of pressure on a lot of the first
So of the
round
people on the sports staff, who do you usually find is better for the quality of this program, me, Fred, or Joey?
You.
No, don't patronize me. We all know that's not true.
It's everybody's different. Fred gets really into like the stories and kind of like some background behind the scenes, like stories. You are more analytical on everything.
No, I'm more of a smart aleck.
Have you met Fred?
Well, I don't know what he's like on here. I know what
I'll send you some clips.
I don't know what he's like on. Look, I get enough of him during the day, and he's on vacation this week, and he's on vacation next Monday. He's going to Major League. He says he doesn't go to the Tigers games because it's too hard for him to get through the stands and all that, but he's going to games in Cincinnati and Washington, and there will be good crowds there. I don't quite follow the logic, but hope he has a good time.
Ballpark is a really great ballpark.
Well, they both are. Washington's better, I think.
I haven't been to Washington, so I can't say.
The difference is the team's terrible.
You all bring different qualities to Staudt on Sports Live.
Really?
Yes. I will put together an amazing clip show. David's laughing. I will put together an amazing clip show.
Like when I'm on, how many complaints do you get?
From David or from overall?
Anybody.
We don't get any complaints.
For the two people a day who watch me on this thing,
That's not
how long
true.
does it take for those two to complain about me being
The two who watch are Ann and David. This is one of my two shows that I have.
There are people in prison, a captive audience.
There are people in prison that would not listen to this if they could get
So I
parole.
just get some video on that general area.
Anyway, speaking of
It's
baseball,
like my wife says, they pay you for that? And I said, hey, get off my case. I can get this from those guys.
baseball tonight, Tigers are in Kansas City. They're sitting at 41 and 51. What has to happen for them to make some differences
You mean in the game?
in the season, in the game?
Well, trying not to be a smart aleck, the way this Scott Harris, the Tigers president, said he was going to look at the first couple of series after the All-Star break to see what his moves were going to be up against the August 1st trade deadline.
And this would be the second series, correct?
It's the second series. He
Okay.
won 2 out of 3 in Seattle. I wouldn't get blown away by that. Now, here's I said to Brock on the radio, If the Tigers win 3 out of 4 in Kansas City and come home 5-2 on the trip, I think he might be delayed throwing in the towel. But if they go 2-2 on this trip against the worst team in the American League by a mile, then he has to say to himself, look, we're not there. Either way, he has to trade at least 2 pitchers. He has to trade Mike Lorenzen, his all-star pitcher, because he's on a 1-year, $8 million deal. They cannot re-sign him. They have no shot. So get some prospects now. And he would be valuable to somebody more legitimate, whoever that is. And Rodriguez, as good as he's been, he's going to be a free agent. They can't sign those guys. So they'll try to get something for him, I would think. Now, if they have a big series in Kansas City, and again, you don't have to be great to beat those guys. I think the Lugnuts can beat Kansas City. But the Tigers are goofy against the weakest teams. They can play with the best teams at times when they fool you, and then they go play the weakest team. Oakland beat them 2 out of 3 in Detroit the other day. So, I mean, this is a series that, to be honest with you, blindfolded, they should win 4.
They should.
But baseball doesn't work that way, and certainly the Tigers. They just they go pound Seattle 2 nights, and then yesterday they get 3 hits. They get shut out. So
Just completely inconsistent.
yeah, you're teaching me. Yeah, they're completely inconsistent. I think that's a good way to put it.
Well, if you missed any of the Lugnuts action, we do have extra innings online and on your favorite streaming device. They talked to our Taylor Gattoni this morning. Lots of Lugnuts.
Believe me, you guys can go through there.
Yeah, you guys are fine.
Believe me, you can go
These are
through
fine.
here. This is an improvement to the show, to be honest with you.
I don't know how they're all fitting in that audio booth, but
What are they doing in there?
they're recording the audio track for their shows.
I've never been in there.
I know you've never been in there.
What does that do?
That's where you record the audio tracks.
Oh.
For the voiceover for your stories.
What's an audio track?
I've seen him change his shirt.
That's not a dressing room.
It is for me.
Okay, listen. All right, we're gonna.
I thought at first it was a bathroom, and it was
No.
it was very disappointing. This building isn't the size of the Empire State Building, Oh,
All right. Well, on that note, we're going to.
I got good news for you. I'm here all week. It's next week I'm gone Thursday, Friday. This week I'm here all week.
We'll figure out the scheduling after this, but thanks for tuning in. Don't
Have
forget.
we ever done one of these where you don't mention hockey at all?
Yes.
And this is the summertime.
Yes,
I mean, what do you like in January? I'll probably never know.
All right. Thanks for watching, everybody.